What's going on, fellas? What's going on? Give yourself a clap for being here. Give yourself a clap for clicking on a video like this that could potentially help change your life compared to anything else you could be watching. Dumb edits, reaction videos, mukbangs, something like that. Give yourself a clap. The first step is taking action, getting new information and then acting on it, okay? So today I want to talk your diet. I want to talk about diet. Okay, and you hear diet and you think it's only food, but I'm not talking about just food. I'm talking about everything you're consuming. What are you listening to through your ears? What are you scrolling and reading and taking in through your eyes? What are you feeding yourself through your diet? So diet's not just food, it's everything you're consuming. We'll start with food. Food does matter, okay? I grew up on processed frozen meals and that was normal. So I obviously felt a certain way my whole life. I just felt normal, okay? But as I got older, started looking into nutrition, understanding more about nutrition, what's truly healthy, calories, macros. I made a switch, okay? The frozen food, it will get you by. It'll get you by, but if you want to be as sharp as you can be, if you want to look your best, feel your best, be able to think clearly, the food you eat matters a lot. It depends on your goals, okay? It depends on your goals. If you want to look good, let's say, you want to get a six-pack and you want to be pretty healthy, but you don't want to cut out unhealthy foods. You want your desserts every once in a while. That's perfectly fine. That's perfectly fine. You just need to know how to track your calories and macros. And if you're eating mostly whole organic foods, you could fill the rest of your calories in with whatever. That's a video for another day. But for your diet and how it's going to help you feel better, think better, move better, see better, everything, we want to be mostly whole organic foods, okay? The calories in versus calories out, processed versus whole foods, they're not different. They're the same amount of calories, but the nutrients and the amount of garbage in the processed food makes a big difference how you feel. Me personally, I like to go extremely clean for about 7 days in a row, and then I have a bit of a cheat day and have a bit of dessert or whatever. But during the 7 days, that's the new normal for me now, is to feel amazing, because I eat no processed food other than that one day about once a week or once every 2 weeks. Other than that, I only eat clean foods. I eat the same exact thing every single day, and I feel insane. But the day that I have a bit of junk food, immediately after the first couple bites, I already see my vision starting to get a bit blurry. My head gets a bit clogged up, and my thoughts aren't as swift and aren't as smooth. Obviously, I'm moving around slower and stiffer and heavy. And so that's the price you pay. You don't, if you want to have dessert every once in a while, that's amazing. But just understand that if you want to operate at your highest level, the quality of food that you eat does matter. It really does. I'll go more into detail on that topic on another day. Now, what you listen to, the news, the media, music, matters a lot. Okay, I used to listen to Juice WRLD, A Boogie, NBA Youngboy. Those used to be like all I would listen to, rappers like that. And it took me a while, until maybe a year or two ago, to understand the damage that I was doing by listening to that. What are Juice WRLD songs usually about? Rest in peace. But popping pills, wanting to die, drugs, wasting money on jewelry and hookers and all that, and that's it. No value, only negatives listening to Juice WRLD. Then you look at A Boogie, same thing, just negative lyrics, murder music. So why was I listening to that? Okay, so I had to understand that what I was putting into my mind through my ears was not serving me in any way, shape, or form. Okay, so I stopped listening to degenerate rap music. the only time I'll hear a rap song is on my Instagram stories in the morning. I'll just throw some random song up. That's the only time. And you can replace that through better music. I don't know. I don't love listening to music. I like making music. So I make a lot of music myself, but I don't love listening to music. But, a song, The Greatest Showman, some kind of corny movie, and it's got a good soundtrack. It's got some good songs. I like listening to that because it's positive. It's inspiring. It's a real story. It's a real story. And so listening to something that builds you up and puts you in a positive frame of mind. When you listen to Juice WRLD or NBA YoungBoy, sure, it might be a bit hype. But once you do it long enough, you're going to be replaying the lyrics of having anxiety. You're going to replay the lyrics of not wanting to be social, and that's how you're going to go through your day, with hanging your head low, not confident, because you're listening to Juice WRLD and NBA YoungBoy all day. But you listen to a song from The Greatest Showman. I close my eyes and I can see a world that's waiting up for me, that I call my home. Right? The Greatest Showman. That's just one little lyric from one song in The Greatest Showman. There's a whole lot. And I listen to songs like that if I need to get, into a good mood. If I need some inspiration and I want to feel good, I could use music, positive music, to get that feeling. That I call my home. These lyrics relate. You want to listen to things that can really help you. Okay? So if you stop listening to the degenerate rap music, pick up some positive music or podcasts instead. When you're driving in the car, you listen to some podcasts that could change your life. Audiobooks. And that podcasts and audiobooks will teach you a lot. Another input that you don't want to make and what you don't want to consume in your diet is the news. The news is an automatic stress machine, I guess I can call it. You watch the news and you're worried about people in different continents. You're worried about the enhanced titles of every story they're talking about. It's just an easy way to get wrapped up in nonsense. And somebody like me, if I hear about a tornado that killed some people, for a random example, in another continent, I'll feel sorry. I'll let that affect me and get into a kind of a bad mood. And that's not what we want. If something doesn't apply to us, if something doesn't affect us, we shouldn't care. If you want to be successful, you shouldn't care about things that don't apply to you. You have to let go of a lot. You have to let go of a lot that you used to include in your diet that can't be in your diet if you want to get to the next step. Okay? So, stop watching the news. It doesn't matter unless it's directly affecting you and you can do something about it, then sure, pay attention. But if you can't do anything about it, if it's outside your control, don't pay attention. Celebrities, who cares what any celebrities are doing? Well, why are you caring about celebrities, dude? That's embarrassing. It's just another man or woman. Don't care what anybody else is doing if it doesn't apply to you. We're removing toxins out of our diet. Caring about celebrities and drama and the news and what your friend, I don't know, what your friend had to say about this situation that doesn't matter. Your diet's going to be very important. What you eat, what you consume, what you listen to, who you're around. This is all part of your diet. Who you're around shapes you. Who you're around, what you hear, you're consuming it all. So the diet is the most important thing. And everything you consume, you have to be careful. You have to be careful. If you really want to get to the next level and change your life and kind of reinvent yourself, there's a lot of things you have to stop caring about. Sports. Sports is one for me. It's probably maybe maybe the biggest, bottleneck and kind of distraction. It's sports has always been such a big part of my life, and it's one of my favorite things in the world. But I had to come to the realization that being super invested in another man's life, Trae Young, Kyle Schwarber, Saquon Barkley. Why? Why am I caring more if they lose a regular season game than Trae Young? If Saquon Barkley loses the Super Bowl, I think it's tomorrow actually, a lot of you guys will probably be more upset than him. And that's it's just a big distraction. What positive do sports have? I don't know. It allows you entertainment. It allows you to get away from your thoughts, I guess, and watch some other men play some sports. If you're playing sports, that's a whole different story, obviously. But just, watching games for 5 hours a day, rewatching old highlights. I used to do this for hours a day. I would keep up on every stat. I still, just muscle memory, probably know where every NBA player went to college. That's something that, is just a waste of time. Has that served me in any way? No. So everything that you consume, everything that you spend time doing, everything that you eat, everything that you listen to is all part of your diet. And at the beginning, you don't want to just add a bunch of things. If you think you need to add reading and add podcasts and add all these positive habits, you do, but you need to subtract first. If you add the positive habits without getting rid of the sports, the gossip, the news, the negative beliefs, the negative people, then the positive ones won't last long. The negative ones always will seem easier in the moment, and so after a while you'll just forget about the positive habits and you'll just revert to the negative ones. So you need to remove first, you need to subtract first the toxins in your body, and then add in the clean foods, the steak, the chicken, the fruit, the honey, the podcast, the music, the positive music, the speeches, the right people. That's what you have to do. Subtract, then add. But don't try and you can't keep the old self and try and add a bunch of new habits and expect to change. That's not gonna happen. You need to understand what you're feeding yourself right now, food-wise, everything-wise. What are you thinking about positively? What are you retelling yourself over and over? Because that's a big part of your diet. That's getting cemented. What you tell yourself over and over starts to become true, regardless if it's positive or negative. So you have to be extremely careful with that one. And remove every negative. If you really want it, you have to remove every negative food you were really eating. It's what it takes. You have to remove all the negative inputs and really only focus on what matters. Get rid of the drama, get rid of the news, get rid of the gossip and all this. Get rid of the junk food for the majority of the time. Get rid of the vices. Get rid of the limiting beliefs that you have. Get around new people and then start adding these positive, healthy foods into your diet, and your whole life's going to change. I think that should be it for today. Thank you so much if you're still watching. Give yourself a round of applause. Now, you can hear some information, but you have to execute. You have to take action. So what can you take from this video? Write down all the negative inputs you're feeding yourself. Is it junk food only every day? Are you around wrong people who are telling yourself that you can't do this, you're not good enough, you can't do that? Is it the bad music you're listening to? Is it the dumb TV shows that you can't stop watching? Is it wasting time and horsing around? Whatever it is, write all the negative parts of your diet, your overall diet, and start with that. Start with that because, like I said, it's subtraction and then addition, subtraction and then addition. So just understand first what the negative foods you're feeding yourself are, and make a plan to change it all around. Change your whole diet. Change your identity. You got this. You got this. Surprise everybody. Surprise everybody. Just show up as a new version of yourself. And it all starts with removing negative food from your overall diet. You can message me at Blake D'Ambrosio on Instagram if you need help. And let's go. Let's go. Props to you, man.